Welcome back, everybody. So my next movie review for you is Van Helsing. But once again, before I get into this review, if you could please like, share and subscribe to my channel, that'd be very, very much appreciated. Also, I generally have a big love to find out the reasons why people like or dislike movies. So if you want to pop down into the comment section down below and tell me what you think, please, that'd be very, very much appreciated. I do have a genuine love to find out the reasons why people hate or love movies so much. So Van Helsing is a 2004 gothic action horror movie directed by Stephen Sommers, starring Hugh Jackman, Kate Beckinsale. We also got Richard Roxburgh, plus David Wenham, plus many, many others. So in this movie, we follow the legendary monster hunter Van Helsing as he is sent to Transylvania to take on Count Dracula. So this movie, like I said, come out in 2004. I've seen this more than once, okay? And I gotta be honest, yes, this movie does have some flaws, but the whole of it, or the majority of this movie, I do find myself very, very entertained. And if you want to know the reasons why, as normal, the review is coming up right about now. So here we go, Van Helsing movie review. Now for all of you guys that have been on my channel for quite a while, you know by now that I live by one rule. If I can get to the end of a movie and feel entertained, it's a good watch. This movie is a classic example of that. Yes, there are a few problems with this movie, two problems that really stick out for me, which I'm going to get into straight away. I'm going to get the negatives out straight away. So the first negative is CGI, special effects in this, okay? Now 90% of this movie, the CGI and special effects are pretty decent, okay? But there is 10% of this movie where they are quite shoddy, okay? And they do stand out quite a lot, like a sore thumb in certain areas. And it almost feels like they went, oh, well, you know, we might be in a bit of a rush here. We'll do it like this. Oh, they'll never notice. And that's kind of how it feels. So there are some very, very cartoonish kind of CGI special effects going on in this movie in certain areas, which just really kind of stood out for me. Okay, but the majority of it, yeah, I'm on board with it. I actually generally like it. You know, for the year that it was made, I didn't expect a huge amount, but there was just seemed to be a few sloppy bits in this as well. Second negative is storyline is quite predictable for me, okay? There are telltale Easter eggs throughout the whole of this movie where you can pretty much see how this is going to end and how this is going to play out. It's not a huge problem because, this, like I said, this is an action movie, so I'm kind of there watching for the action and the action sequences. But on predictability of plot, okay, it's very, very predictable in my personal opinion. There are telltale signs throughout the whole of this movie to see the end result, and you can kind of guess what's happening. They kind of lay the Easter eggs throughout the whole of this movie. Also, it kind of felt like a bit of a James Bond movie at a certain point of this, and it's just where Van Helsing goes to like what you would call the quartermaster. Okay, it had a very, very James Bondish kind of feel in a certain area and in certain parts of this movie. Again, not a massive problem, but it kind of lacks originality for me a little bit because I've already seen it. It's something that's there straight at you, and you go, "Oh, that's a James Bond movie. That just feels like a James Bond movie," and it just had that there. Like I said, again, not enough to dampen this movie off for me because I know I'm really tuning in for the action. So that's the two main negatives from this. Okay. The positives I like is they actually give you a conscious effort to give you a backstory to the main characters in here. Okay, they don't give it away, but they don't have to do this either. They can go, well, it's Van Helsing, it's Dracula. Fine. That's how they could have played this out, but they didn't. They gave you a little bit of a conscious effort to give you a backstory to each of their characters, and you do get behind the main characters as well. But in fact, I get, you know, like as in like the hero side of it, you do get behind every single character there because they have a motive. There is a reason why they're trying to do this, and I like what they did. They didn't go too into depth with it. They didn't go overboard with it. They gave you enough to go, okay, we got a bit of an emotional attachment going, and that's kind of what I felt here. Action sequences in this movie, I think, are absolutely fantastic. It's a very, very fast-paced movie. There's not very many slow bits in it, which I'm fine with, and the action sequences I genuinely really enjoyed. It's a bit of a thrill ride, and I had a lot of fun while watching this movie. Like I said, special effects at the beginning of this video or this review, not the best in certain areas, but a majority, I did say 90%. I'm probably going to go about 8%, and I do actually generally want to have a cough right now. Excuse me. But generally, again, I really enjoyed it. At some points there is quite a fair bit going on, and I found myself struggling at certain points, even now, knowing I've watched it about 10 times, struggling to keep up with it in certain areas. I like the variety of villains in here. Well, when I say variety of villains, there's all sorts of different little monsters going on here, as in appearance from Dr. Jekyll, we got werewolves, we got Dracula, all sorts of other little bits going on. You got Frankenstein as well. I generally liked all those inclusions, but sometimes it just kind of felt there was a little bit too much going on in certain areas of this movie. A little bit. It might be just me trying to maybe pick another hole there, which I don't really want to do because, like I said, I get entertainment value from this movie. Soundtrack or the musical score in here, I think is absolutely fantastic as well. And I kind of also enjoyed like the slightly modern take on this. Okay, so this is set probably around about the 1600s, something around those 1700s. And yes, I'm going back to like the Quartermaster's bit where he gets given some gadgets to go and take on Dracula. There is that slight modern feel to it, but it's not overdone as such where it starts to become a little bit unrealistic. I liked what they did. Performances in here, fantastic to a certain point. Hugh Jackman in here I thought was absolutely brilliant. I think he's a great action hero, to be fair. Kate Beckinsale's performance in here, yeah, again, she gets involved in this. Her accent in this is, I found myself a little bit overdone, to be honest with you. Just something which stuck out. I know these are negatives, but the two main ones were at the beginning. And it's exactly the same with a lot of the accents going on in here. Sometimes it just felt like it was a little bit overdone, so to speak. But little minor little things which maybe I picked up on, which I'm now picking up on now. Like I said, as a genre as a whole, if you're looking for an action movie, this is something that you're looking for. If you're looking for an in-depth plot movie, yes, there is yes and no, okay? But the plot to me is very predictable. For somebody, even the first time I watched it, the first time I ever watched it, I was like going, oh, I can pretty much see where this is going. But even still, if I was going to give this a rating, I'm going to give this a strong 8 out of 10. It's as simple as that, because I have a lot of fun while watching this movie. Yes, I notice problems in there, but it's not enough for me to go, oh, it's crap. And it's not. This is the reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10, because there's enough other stuff, good stuff going on in this movie for me to get entertainment value. It's as simple as that. And I got a cough. That's the second time. I do apologise. So, on that note, excuse me, on that note, please tell me what you think, put it in the comments down below as normal. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.